Guys, welcome back to Salsa Splash. In today's video I will be teaching you about what type of tank you should have for a goldfish and how the tank should look. So it's me and orange juice today, and today we have, instead of pufferfish, we have Mrs. and Mr. Duck. This is Mr., this is Mrs. Duck, to be considered our goldfish. So every episode will be a new duck or thing. I have a bunch of them. So, we can just pick away. So, first off, I will be talking about the size. Second, I'll be talking about what should be in it. And third, with the filtration and why. So, first, you should definitely get a big tank. This is a 20-gallon tank, and he's small right now, but I will probably be upping it when he gets super big. He is a pretty good size, and he is by himself, so he is not with anybody. But if you wanted 2 orange juices, you should probably get a 30 or 40 gallon, because they do grow and they do get bigger. So if you ever see those videos like, I have a goldfish, and then they put them in like a super small vase, that is a terrible thing for goldfish. Terrible. You would never want that for any goldfish. That is like if someone shoved you in a shed, and say you were 7 feet tall, and they shoved you in a shed. That is how stressful it would be. They can't swim around very much, and there's not much oxygen in the water, because it's not like people where we have oxygen everywhere. The problem with goldfish is when we breathe in, they have oxygen in the water. That's why they breathe through gills to get the oxygen. That's why they need a bigger tank, so they have more oxygen. Because they can't just move to like a different part of the world to get more oxygen. That's all the oxygen they have. And I'll get to that, why you need a filter, later on. So, get a big tank. You do not want it though super big. I've seen people with tiny goldfish like this with 80-gallon to 100-gallon tanks. That is ginormous, and that could stress them out, because the water levels are probably extremely hard to take care of. But in a smaller tank, you have less water, so there's more you can take care of. But in 100 to 80 gallon, there's a bunch of water, so you gotta do testing every day, almost maybe twice or 3 times a day. And you gotta have a bunch of filters. And filters for that tanks, they are expensive. So you definitely want a small, but not too small or not too big tank. This is perfect for his size. It is not perfect for a goldfish the size of my hand. That is too big. That is too small. So when he gets about that size, I'll up him to a 40-gallon, because he would get too big and too stressed, because the bigger they get, the more oxygen they need. Just like us, our lungs grow with our body, because we need more oxygen with our lungs. While our lungs grow, we need more oxygen they can take in. So, say your lungs were this size when you were born, and now they're this size. You're going to be able to hold more oxygen than when it was this size. That is why we need areas with good air, and with fish, good water, so we can get the right stuff we need. Now, I will be showing you what happens when there's 2 goldfish in a small tank. I'll show you big in a minute. So, usually the male will pick on the female. Like, nip their gills, nip their skin, bite their tail. That is terrible, because they could get stressed, and it could kill them. So that's why you need a big tank, so they can swim around and they can have their own space. But if they're small, they'll cram together, and the males are most likely to get vicious. Male and male, vicious. Female and female, vicious. Male and female, vicious. Or trying to breed. Vicious, vicious, vicious. Small tanks equal vicious things. Vicious, 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 vicious. Big tank, female, female, calm. Male and male, calm. Male and female, calm. Happy goldfish. So, too big tank, stressed out, gets stressed, both dead. Or one die, gets fungus, also die. The goldfish, I flew them. Next, I will be talking about what you need in the tank. So, most goldfish get lonely. Because if you only have enough space for one goldfish, or you are only allowed to get one goldfish, I recommend putting some plants in the tank. So they can have stimulation, they can move around in them. That's why I have this plant, and then there's this little hut back there. So he can swim around them, and he doesn't have to feel stressed out. Because if there's nothing in it, they don't know what to do. That's like if someone put us in a white room, just a blank white room. We'd be bored. We'd go insane because we don't know anything. We don't have any stimulation. That's why in houses, we need stuff like furniture or toys or books to help us stimulate. That's why people with ADHD like me need like fidgets so their stimulation calms down because they always need something to do. Thank you, Mr. Top Hat Ducky. But if you have a big tank, multiple goldfish, you probably don't need very much in the tank or anything at all. So I'm going to show you a close-up of his tank. See, he's the only one. So he has rocks. There's this little hut. He has rocks in this plant. There he is. But that's because he is alone. He doesn't have any people to hang out with, so he hangs out with the plants and stuff. That's why he needs that. He needs that to calm himself down and so he's not overwhelmed. But with two goldfish, you probably don't need as much. Maybe one or two plants. Sorry, it's thundering here. And lightning. Bad. Florida weather. Otherwise, you don't need stuff. But if you have like 5 or 4 goldfish and you have a big tank, that's what I just said. Get a good tank for them. Be good. You're probably fine. Like Luke's Goldie, shout out to him. He's the best. Awesome. Love him. Awesome. Awesome dude. Takes care of his goldfish super well. Chicken Steve, if you're hearing this, love you. But check him out, by the way. He just hit 1 million subs. Congrats. I've been with him since 30K. I've been here a while. So he has good tanks, good filtration, and multiple goldfish. So he can keep them stimulated. Oh, and today he posted a video. His baby goldfish are a month old. So, sorry, back to the point. He has enough stuff in his tank, so his goldfish don't need very much. Because they have each other to hang out with. And it's a big tank, so they're not picking at each other. Sometimes they do. It's just because they're stressed or something, or not feeling well. It's Ducky. But he has a big tank, and they have each other to hang out with. He has a couple plants in their tank, and he has some black sand, but that's just to make sure it's not bare bottom. It's not very good to have a bare bottom, but you can. But if you have multiple goldfish, you'd probably want some sand at the bottom, just so when they're eating, they don't eat on the floor. But if your goldfish is tiny, probably get rocks so they can't ingest them. But yeah, that's about all about that. So now I'll talk about filtration. You need a filter. Filters are something that they need to survive, because it processes the stinky water and makes it good. That's why, if you have it, you need to clean the water. But if you don't have a filter, there's no oxygen that it's producing, or the water's just going to get really, really ucky. So, get a good filter. This one has in the back, there's a black background. You can see that's where the filter is hiding. There's 2 sucking in the back, 2 things that suck in the caca water. But you should probably clean it out. Just because some people think, oh, I have a filter, I don't need to clean it out. It'll just clean itself out. No, you need to clean it out, because that will give the goldfish more air, and it'll clog up, and to the point where it's too clogged, it'll just stop sucking stuff up. So yeah, you haven't cleaned it in like 2 months. It's not working. You might think, oh, I haven't cleaned it in like 3 or 2 months. It's still working. It's not. You might think it is because it's running and you can hear it, but it's just clogged. It doesn't have any more room to put stuff in. It just can't do anything. It just has not enough room to get more stuff. So that's why you must clean it. I usually clean mine once a week, depending on how good the water is. That's why it's crystal clear. Some fish owners have really bad water. And also with it, you must keep the light. I have a remote. This is the remote for his tank. This is on. This is on. This is off. You should have a color schedule. So in the day, it's white. When I'm going to bed, it's black. Turn the light off. Not a dark blue, black. Because it must be stimulated to what we feel like and what it is in the wild. So make sure the lights, and when you wake up, turn it to white. Because they're waking up. Sounds like there's a dinosaur outside. So that's about all that I have to say. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it helps. Get some good tanks. And like always, Mr. Ducky, Mrs. Ducky, thank you. We'll pick a new one next video. Sorry this took a while. Bye-bye.